Trump's intelligence officials in the hot seat over a Signal group chat containing sensitive war plans that a journalist was accidentally added to. At a Senate hearing investigating the breach, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe, who were in the chat, testified.
There was no classified material that was shared in that. So then,
if there was no classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security.
Editor-in-Chief of The Atlantic magazine, Jeffrey Goldberg, says he was added to the discussion on the encrypted messaging app by US National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. The chat contained 18 senior Trump officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. There, Goldberg claims he read communications about an impending US attack on Yemen, one day before it happened. The US launched large-scale military strikes against Iran-backed Houthi militants in Yemen earlier this month, an assault that killed dozens of people.
He was texting war plans. He was texting attack plans. When targets were going to be targeted, how they were going to be targeted, who was at the targets, when the next sequence of attacks were happening. I didn't publish this, and I continue not to publish it, because it felt like it was too confidential.
After previously denying involvement, Waltz has now owned up.
Look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated.
But both Waltz and President Donald Trump have taken aim at the reporter, calling him a sleazebag and the bottom scum of journalists, as well attacking the magazine he works for. Trump insists there was no classified information disclosed in the discussion, and told reporters in Washington he had no intention of seeking punishment for those involved.
No, I don't think he should apologize. I think he's doing his best. It's equipment and technology that's not perfect, and probably he won't be using it again, at least not in the very near future.
That's despite Democrats calling for heads to roll over the debacle. They've called for the resignation of Waltz and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. And the breach has sparked alarm from US veterans and former government staff, who say the actions of these Trump officials could have put military and civilian lives in danger.
And if an adversary were to have intercepted these messages, what it does is it puts our fighter pilots who were up in the air about to conduct the operation against the Houthis at risk. I mean, it truly puts their lives at risk.
The White House say it's looking into the use of Signal, but has not announced its own investigation into the leak, attempting to sweep the blunder under the rug, as Senate leaders consider if the breach will be probed further. Dolphine, Chen and Rosie Grenenger for TaiwanPlus.